Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Miss K. I'm an English teacher by day, and by night I read a heck of a lot of books. And today I am reviewing one of my absolute favorites, if not my favorite book of all time right now. That is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer Armentrout. I love this series. This is super addictive. It is my favorite right now. I will probably go back through and read the entire series once I finish it again. But first, let's get into the three things that each book needs in order to be a successful piece of literature. There are three things we have to remind ourselves in the world of books. One is character. If you do not have adequate character development and a character profile from beginning to end of the book, then your characters will be flat, one note, and they will not act like real people. Two is world building. This is the universe that your characters live in. And the third one can overshadow both of the others if not done correctly. That is style, word choice, and vocabulary. If you don't have the ability to actually say what you want to say, it doesn't matter how good of an idea it is. Doesn't matter how complex character you have. It doesn't matter if the world is the best that's ever been in existence. If you can't say what you want to say, then it doesn't matter. Today's book, guys, is Jennifer Armentrout's From Blood and Ash. This is the first book in the Blood and Ash series with Poppy and Hawk, and it is a fantastic read. This is a very high fantasy read. High fantasy means it is an entirely new world. There is a new universe, new gods, goddesses. The landscape is created. Think Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. That's high fantasy. So this is something very similar to that. So we have our female character. Her name is Poppy. She is known as the Maiden or the Chosen One. Now what that means, we don't exactly know, and neither does Poppy. We do know that the life she leads in the kingdom of Solace is a pretty miserable one. She is perpetually beaten by Duke and Duchess Tyrman and Lord Messene. She is secluded from the people in her kingdom, and she is forbidden to speak or act out of turn. Honestly, if she so much as takes a wrong step, she is beaten for that. She leads a life of privilege compared to most Solace individuals. However, her life of privilege comes at a cost. Her personal freedom is severely restricted. Now, the Ascended are the people who rule over the kingdom of Solace. They are the aristocracy of Solace, if you will. And they make sure that there is a very large gap between the Ascended that have everything and the mortals who have nothing. Very large gap. So much so, in fact, the Ascended live in palaces and kingdoms surrounded by walls, and mortals live in crumbling slums piled on top of one another. The stench, even as Poppy recalls, is something so striking. You know that you are in mortal territory. And so Poppy lives her life until her veteran guard dies in a Craven attack, and a new guard must take his place. This new guard's name is Hawk. His name is Hawk Flynn, and he is tall, dark, and handsome, and he strikes Poppy as, well, interesting. She actually met him before at a brothel. Not that she did anything with him, but it's just odd that she met him at a brothel, and now here he is as her royal guard. Now, Hawk is different from most guards in that he allows Poppy to talk freely to him and to question how things are in Solace. He sticks up for her when the priestess Analia berates her for mispronouncing a word. He kills Duke Tyrman for her after Duke Tyrman beats her to a pulp. And ultimately, he is impressed by her fighting skills. At night, the Craven attack. Now, the Craven are these almost mythical zombie-like creatures. Nobody really knows how they came into existence. The myth that Poppy has been fed most of her life is that the Craven came into existence as a result of an Atlantean bite. Atlantean were people, in addition to the Ascended, they are people to be feared, and their kingdom of Atlantia died out a long time ago. This is what Poppy's been told all her life, and what everyone in the kingdom of Solace knows to be true. Poppy fights. She is not a helpless woman. And I love that about Jennifer Armentrout's character, is that she created Poppy to be a strong female lead. Strong, questioning, highly intelligent, just stuck in this life when she is actually meant for bigger and greater things. The Ascended decide that Poppy is no longer safe in her home in Macedonia and she needs to travel to the capital of Carcedonia. And that travel is going to take her and her guard Hawk through the Blood Forest and several smaller villages along the way. Now, along the way, Hawk and Poppy share a night together, and ultimately, Hawk says to Poppy, you know, you have a choice. You can choose not to do what they tell you. And that never occurred to Poppy before. It's almost as though all the lies she's been fed have just suddenly now she calls into question, are those lies even true? She sort of comes into her own along this journey and decides that she would rather be her own person and continue being with Hawk as they travel to Carcedonia. Poppy and Hawk share a night together, and Hawk tells her that in this moment, at this particular time, this is real, this is truth, and to never forget it. Poppy doesn't know what he means, and she falls asleep in his arms, wakes up alone, and finds that everything she knew about Hawk Flynn is a lie. The Kingdom of Solace is built on lies because they're not actually people, they're vampires who take children to use as cattle to feed the Ascended. The Kingdom of Atlantia is not actually extinct, it is a thriving, living city, more so than the Kingdom of Solace. And anything that Poppy was to be used for as the maiden, as the chosen, is entirely a falsehood. There was never a maiden before her. There was never a chosen before her. She doesn't know what to believe at this point, except trust her own instincts. And I think that's where Jennifer Armentrout really does wonders with this female character, is she creates Poppy to become a woman of her own mind. Poppy is incredibly stubborn and brave. She just has to figure out how to use it. Jennifer Armentrout, full marks for world building. 10 out of 10 stars. Highly recommend this book. There is tons of room to grow because now that we've established that everything the Kingdom of Solace is built on is a lie, we have an entirely new world in the Kingdom of Atlantia to develop. That opens the door for so many more books and more stories, and that is what good writing is all about. So full marks for Jennifer Armentrout. I love this book, love this series. I'm currently reading the 4th one, and I can't wait to share the rest with you. So folks, let me know what you thought about From Blood and Ash in the comments down below. My rating is a 10 out of 10. What rating would you give it? Happy reading, folks, and until next time, I'm Miss K. Bye. Everybody, there's a lot of